The most dangerous competitors aren't the ones talking about what they're building. They're the ones quietly building while everyone else is announcing. Stop posting your plans and start posting your results. The gap between talkers and doers has never been wider. Are you announcing or are you executing? Right now, your social media feed is full of people declaring intentions, sharing vision boards, and announcing upcoming projects. And research shows that 90% of those announcements never materialize into completed work. Studies from psychologists and departments of NYU reveal that people who publicly announce their goals experience 33% less completion rates than those who work quietly, because announcements satisfy the brain's reward without requiring actual achievement. How many of your announcements are stealing the energy from your execution? The announcement addiction creates the illusion of progress while preventing actual progress. As the dopamine hit from sharing plans replaces the motivation to complete them, leaving a trail of abandoned intentions, eroded credibility, and failed promises. People who chronically announce rather than execute experience higher project abandonment rates, lower trust from the network who've learned that their announcements predict nothing. Every post about what you're going to do is energy diverted from actually doing it. Satisfaction borrowed from future achievement and credibility spent on promises rather than earned through delivery, ensuring you'll be able to know for talking rather than building because your brain has been trained to seek validation through announcement rather than accomplishment. We're coming up to the time when people are creating their New Year's resolutions, and most research shows that New Year's resolutions may get about 4 days. Go into any gymnasium, any workout area, and see what's going on. The first 2 weeks in January are insane. In fact, I avoid the gym during those 2 weeks because all those people with New Year's resolutions trying to get it done, talking about it, making vision boards, are getting the dopamine without actually doing something, instead of quietly just going ahead and doing it. Now, one of the things I do every January is I do a 30-day cleanse. I do a 30-day cleanse with 1,000 calories a day. It is hard, it is brutal, and I don't announce it to anyone. It is what I do to make sure that I reset my chemistry and create longevity for myself. It is hard, and in the first 2 weeks, I'm not really a pleasant person. I let people around me know this is going to happen, but it's not something I normally announce. Of course, this is going to be the exception. You'll find that the people who just go do it, put a plan together, get 4 or 5 bullet points on an idea, and dive into it, are the ones that get things done. They're quietly going about their job, they're quietly going about getting things done and not announcing it to the world. Also, creating these long lists of intentions and ideas has never really worked for me. I just can't do it. I love Strategic Coach's idea of getting 1% better every quarter. Now, that strikes me as achievable. It's a quarter, it's 3 months, it's not a year. I forget what I said I was going to do in a year. I don't forget it in 3 months. I will forget it in 4, but not 3. And if I can strive to make sure that the business gets 1% better every year, that's 4% a year. Maybe there's a compounding factor there, but even 4% a year, that's growth rate. That's a great growth rate over a period of time. And if it compounds, it gets better. But it's much better than having these grand visions of all these things that we need to do and not get any of them done. Be at the same place you were last year as you are this year. That's the worst thing that can happen to a business, because if it's not growing, you're dying. And so therefore, I'm going to encourage you to quietly just select a couple things and move forward. Now, as a project manager for many years, let me give you one hint. If you've decided what you're going to do, then what you have to do is ask, what's the next step? So if you've decided that you're going to read a book a quarter on your business. Then the next step is probably do some quick research and find the best book for you to do and order it today. And then you're done. You're done with that for the task for the day. It shows up. And now you have to figure out how often you're going to do it. And you commit to yourself. And someone will say, well, I'm going to read every day. That doesn't make any sense. It's not realistic. Very few people can do that. But instead say, I'm going to read 4 times a week for 15 minutes and get into that pattern. And you'll find that you're blowing through books much faster and you're going to have to actually get them done. But if you've already taken the next step, ooh, I'm about to finish this book. What's the next step? The next step is to figure out what the next book is. Maybe have a list of them, or better yet, have them sitting there. Now, I wouldn't actually have them ordered. There is something advantageous about them showing up. It's a little hit of dopamine again. But if you can create those steps, so identify several things that you need to do over the next year, break them down into quarters, and identify what the next step is, you'll get them done faster. Don't worry about announcing it to everyone. Don't worry about getting people to say, yes, I'm willing to do it, unless it's something big. And then it may be helpful to announce it to a couple of people, not to the whole world. Announce when you're done, not when you start. In a few episodes, I will have hit my goal of 105 videos. We have published almost every day this year. It was a little iffy in the first couple of weeks when we were figuring it out. But January 6th or so, we will have published 105 videos, and we will have published on the social media channels every day for 365 days. This was a challenge for me, and it required me to work on quarterly goals and as well as a yearly goal. I didn't announce it to anyone. I did tell 2 people, but they're helping me run this section. But everyone else, I just did it. And I was able to do it because I knew what the next thing that needed to be done was. Now, is it perfect? No. Is this exactly how I always wanted it? No. But this allows me to get it done. The first 2 videos I do, I'd encourage you to go back and look at them, are horrible. In fact, the first one is, boy, I hope I'm embarrassed by this. The color was off, so trust me, I am. That's great. I've seen improvement. But I've also realized that I can't get it perfect. You know, I've had videographers come up and tell me that I needed to make a great depth, that I need to change my lighting, and I'm using the wrong lens, and if I move my hands, then that's going to be the wrong thing. And that's true. And they all have a valid point. But if I kept trying to get it perfect, it would never get done. And now I have hundreds of you who listen to me on a regular basis because I got it started. I started the process and we got it going. Is this perfect? No. Would I love to improve it? Yes. But this allows me to get it done in a short period of time and get moving on the process. And I'm a firm believer in movement is more important than anything else. Getting it up is much more important. And I've done a whole video on up is better than perfect, because we can spend our entire time trying to make it right. So do not announce what you're going to do. Just go do it. Don't worry about what other people think. Just go do it. And talk about the results. And in just a few videos, I'm going to give you the results of a year's worth of work and exactly why we did it, and some very interesting data that's coming up. So look forward to that. Now, if you'd like, tell me your little hack to make sure that you're getting done the things you're committing to. I don't want to know what they are. I want to know how you make sure you get them done and how you continue to keep the momentum. Put them in the comments below. Let's continue this conversation.
Thanks for tuning into today's episode on the Strategy Session, where we take your business from stuck to unstoppable. Here's another video I think you'd enjoy. If you found these insights valuable, remember to hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and ring the bell for notifications on our latest videos. Remember, you're not just marketing, you're making history with Venture Gained.